The dusty streets of Calvary Creek had seen their share of desperate men, but none like Jack Morrison, who rode in on a scorching Tuesday afternoon. He dismounted his black stallion, midnight, outside Murphy's saloon, his weathered hand steady despite 3 days of nursing whiskey. Jack wasn't here for a drink. He was here for something no decent man should ever buy. Pushing through the batwing doors, his spurs clicked against the wooden floor. The saloon reeked of stale tobacco and broken dreams. His cold blue eyes scanned the dim room, landing on a trembling figure in the corner, a man so drunk he could barely hold his head up, clutching a crumpled paper like a lifeline. "You the one selling?" Jack's voice cut through the smoky air like a knife. The drunk looked up, bloodshot eyes meeting Jack's. Something about his gaunt face felt familiar, but Jack dismissed it. In his line of work, questions led to trouble. The man slurred, 15 years old. Clean. Never touched by rough hands. $500, and she's yours. No questions. Jack's stomach twisted. He'd done vile things in his 35 years, killed men with families, robbed banks serving honest folk, but this was different. Yet, the man in Santa Fe had been specific, and the payment would set Jack up for life. "Where is she?" he asked. The drunk pointed a shaking finger toward a back room. "Locked up 3 days. Don't eat much. Won't cause trouble." Jack moved toward the door, his mind drifting to buried memories, a little girl with green eyes braiding flowers into his horse's mane. His daughter, Sarah, abandoned 15 years ago after her mother died. He'd left her with her grandfather, too cowardly to raise her alone. Shaking off the thought, he pushed open the door. The world stopped out on a filthy mattress. In a torn yellow dress, sat a young woman with familiar green eyes and a stubborn chin that mirrored his own. She looked up, fear and defiance warring in her gaze, reminding him of someone he'd loved more than life itself. It couldn't be her. Could it? "Are you here to buy me too?" Her voice was a whispered. Jack's eyes caught a small scar above her left eyebrow, the same scar he'd kissed goodnight 1,000 times before riding away. His hand twitched toward his gun, not from an external threat but from a rage igniting in his chest. He forced himself to turn away, boots heavy on the floorboards, and stormed back to the main room. The drunk was still there, clutching a half-empty bottle. Jack grabbed him by the collar, dragging him outside. "What's your name?" His voice was deadly calm. "Samuel." "Samuel Hayes," the man hiccuped, whiskey fumes thick. The name hit like a gut punch. Samuel Hayes, his dead wife's father, Sarah's grandfather, who'd promised to care for her. "That girl in there," Jack growled, tightening his grip. "What's her name?" "Don't matter. You buying or not?" "I got debts, and she's all I got left." Jack felt something die inside. 15 years ago, he'd left 3-year-old Sarah with this man, believing it was right. Samuel had been sober then, a respected store owner. "How long you been selling her services?" Samuel's eyes darted away. "She ain't been. I mean, you'd be the first. Times got hard after the store burned down. Man's gotta survive." The pieces fell together like a nightmare. The yellow dress, Jack had bought one like it for Sarah's 3rd birthday. Her defiant green eyes, so like her mother's. "She know who I am." "Why would she? You've been gone 15 years. Probably don't even remember you." Samuel took another swig. "A deal's a deal." Jack's mind flashed to the day he'd left Sarah. Her mother, Elizabeth, died of fever, and Jack, a 20-year-old gunslinger, convinced himself Samuel would give her stability. Now, seeing what Samuel had become, what he'd turned Sarah into, Jack knew he'd made the worst mistake of his life. "500, you said?" Jack's voice was ice. Samuel nodded, not noticing the dangerous glint in Jack's eyes. Jack pulled a roll of bills from his saddlebag, hands trembling with fury, not fear. He handed them over. "One question before we finish." "What's that?" Jack leaned close, eyes burning. Do you know what happens to men who sell their own blood? Samuel's face paled, the bottle slipping from his fingers, shattering on the ground. What do you mean? Jack didn't answer. He walked back to the saloon, each step heavy with purpose. Sarah was still on the mattress, humming a lullaby, Elizabeth's lullaby. Where'd you learn that? Jack's voice cracked. Sarah's green eyes studied him. My mama sang it before she died. Jack leaned against the doorframe, fighting to stay composed. You remember your mama? Some things. Yellow hair, smelled like lavender. Told me stories about a man with a black horse. Said he was the bravest, but he had to go away to keep bad men from hurting us. The room spun. Elizabeth had made him a hero in Sarah's eyes, despite his abandonment. This man, Jack whispered. She tell you his name? Sarah nodded. Jack. Said he'd come back. But Grandpa said it was a fairy tale, that my daddy was dead in a ditch. The words struck like bullets. Jack wanted to tell her everything, to take her away, but how could he admit he'd come to buy her for another man's desires? Sarah, he said, her name escaping before he could stop it. Her head snapped up. How do you know my name? Grandpa told you to call me that, didn't he? Said it'd make men feel better about what they wanted. No, Jack said firmly. I know your name because, heavy footsteps interrupted. Samuel's voice carried through the walls. You boys are too late. Got a buyer for the girl. Jack's blood froze. Other men were here, for his daughter. He heard Samuel's nervous laughter and 3 gruff voices. We had an agreement, a deep voice rumbled. Cash up front, delivery today. Now some stranger outbid us. Sarah whispered, the Bartlett brothers. They'd been coming for weeks, making promises about what they'd pay. Jack's hand rested on his Colt .45. The Bartletts were notorious for violence and worse. Stay behind me, he told Sarah. The door burst open. 3 men filled the doorway, the Bartlett brothers, led by Big Tom, his scarred face and rabid eyes gleaming with malice. Jack Morrison, he sneered. Heard you were dead. Not yet, Jack replied, hands steady. Walk away, Tom. Nothing here for you. Big Tom's eyes slid to Sarah, hungry. Oh, there is. We've been watching this operation. Had our hearts set on this merchandise. His grin widened. But now I'm thinking we've got a bigger prize. Word is, that girl's your daughter, Jack. Elizabeth Hayes' kid, left behind by a gunslinger named Morrison. Sarah gasped. Daddy? Big Tom laughed. That's right, little girl. Your daddy came to buy you like meat. Jack felt his soul fracture. Sarah, he said, eyes on Big Tom. Your mama was right. I'm here now. Took me 15 years too long. The room tensed like a drawn bowstring. Big Tom's hand twitched toward his gun. Jack saw the shift, but instead of fear, he felt purpose. The difference between you and me, Tom, Jack said, is you came to hurt an innocent girl. I came to bring my daughter home. 3 shots rang out, thunder in the cramped room. When the smoke cleared, only Jack and Sarah stood. But Samuel's voice echoed from the main room, she ain't the only one. Got more girls in the cellar. Sarah sobbed. He's been doing this to others. I heard crying, but he said it was rats. Jack holstered his gun and faced his daughter. Are you hurt? Did anyone? No, she said. He kept me clean for buyers. Said I was worth more. Rage blurred Jack's vision. How many girls are down there? 3, maybe 4. Younger than me. Not ready yet, he said. Jack grabbed Sarah's arm gently. Go outside, untie Midnight. If you hear more shooting, ride to town. Find the sheriff. Tell him everything. Daddy, don't leave me again," she pleaded. "I'm not, sweetheart. But other girls need their daddies too." Jack dragged Samuel to the cellar door. The stench hit him, fear, filth, despair. In cages made from horse stalls were 3 girls, 12 or 13, eyes wide with hope and terror. "It's okay," Jack called. "I'm here to take you home." He turned to Samuel, cowering. "How long?" 2 years. "Maybe 3, Samuel whimpered. Jack's hand moved to his gun. "I promised Elizabeth I'd check on you and Sarah. Should have kept that promise." Before he could fire, footsteps thundered above. Sarah's voice rang out, "Daddy, more men. They've got badges." Sheriff's men, but in Calvary Creek, badges often meant corruption. Jack unlocked the cages, whispering to the girls, "When I say run, go up the stairs, out the back. Find Sarah and the black horse. Ride to the mountains." The youngest grabbed his sleeve. "What about the bad man?" Jack glanced at Samuel. "He won't hurt anyone again." 2 men with badges appeared at the cellar stairs, eyes gleaming with greed, not justice. "Jack Morrison," the sheriff said. "Killing 3 men and interfering with a legitimate business." "Business?" Jack's voice was ice. "Calling children property?" The sheriff smiled. "Samuel pays his taxes. What he does with his property is his affair." Jack's fury crystallized. "How many towns?" The sheriff's grin faltered. Jack raised his gun, knowing this fight was just beginning. For Sarah, for the girls, for the man he should have been.